For the first time in my life, I'm headed off to Asia. 2 weeks in Japan, 18 parks, 69 coasters, some big, some small, but I'm down for all of it. As I always do before I take an international trip, I want to make a prediction. I want to guess what my top coasters will be, and then come back later on to see how far off I was. So here we go. This is what I think my top 20 coasters in Japan will be. Before I get into the top 20, I want to talk about 8 coasters that are very interesting, but I don't think they'll be top 20 worthy. Raging Spirits at Tokyo Disney Sea. This Intamin mine train looping coaster looks super weird. It's very short, not very fast, has over-the-shoulder restraints, and is 20 years old. So it may be bad and painful, but we'll see. I'm curious. Lipovitan Rocket Luna at Yomiuri Land. This is the only family suspended coaster Gerstlauer has ever built, opening in 2021, and it's mostly indoors, so we'll see how this rides. Diving Coaster Vanish at Yokohama Cosmo World. The Clickbait Coaster. This is famous for its underwater tunnel, but aside from that, it looks like a Togo and has shoulder restraints and no inversions, so that's not cool. Slope Shooter at Higashiyama Zoo. This is a bobsled-style side friction coaster, if you even call it a coaster, almost like a Virginia Reel, but it's very possible this coaster will be down when I get there, so that's too bad. Shuttle Loop at Nagashima Spa Land. This is a classic Schwarzkopf shuttle loop with a flywheel launch, just like Montezuma's Revenge, something we no longer have in America, so it'll be good to experience this one more time. Diablo at Himeji Central Park. Hey, it's my first Batman clone outside the USA. I know what to expect, but it'll still be fun. Pink Typhoon Standing Coaster at Brazilian Park Washington Highland. This is the only coaster that I know of that has a stand-up train and a backward sit-down train, and based on the time of day you ride it, you can get both experiences, so you really have to have a game plan going in. Last one, Mega Coaster at Hamanako Pao Pao. This one's famous for that weird stalled dive loop. Classic Togo. I don't think it'll be good, but by far the only reason to visit Hamanako Pao Pao. Number 20, Gekion Live Coaster at Tokyo Joypolis. Long before Time Traveler, there was Gekion Live Coaster, a launched inverting spinning coaster. This is very short, not fast, and some people say it's terrible. But this also has a shooting dark ride element to it, so I'm very interested to see how it is. Number 19 and number 18, Ultra Twister at Brazilian Park Washington Highland and Nagashima Spa Land. These look the same, so I'm grouping these together. But at last, I have 2 chances at finally riding a Togo Ultra Twister, missing my chance here in America when Astroworld closed. And I've been wanting to ride this for so long. That vertical lift, insanely steep drop, 3 heartline rolls, the track all around you, and a switch track that sends you backwards. Number 17, Panic Coaster Back Dan at Tokyo Dome City. This Gerstlauer sounds like a riot. It is a family coaster, but it has 2 launches, a switch track, going forward and backward. Maybe this should be in the interesting coasters but not rank list, but I've heard good things about it, so I'm putting it on here. Number 16, Venus GP at Himeji Central Park. This coaster has some history. The first ever coaster for Maurer, and the coaster that used to be at Space World, closing in 2018 and reopening here in 2022. This has some serious Schwarzkopf vibes. 131 feet tall, 53 miles an hour, big swooping turns, a big vertical loop. It could be awesome, or maybe it'll fall flat. I'm very curious. Number 15, Acrobat at Nagashima Spa Land. I am a big fan of Manta at SeaWorld Orlando. That is the best flying coaster in the US, and here we have a clone. It doesn't have as cool of a setting as Manta, so maybe it'll lose some of that charm, but hopefully the layout speaks for itself, and this is a great flying coaster. Number 14, Minecart Madness at Universal Studios Japan. Now that I know what a boom coaster is all about, riding the one at Epic Universe, I gotta say I love this ride. I'm assuming it's the same thing. All the track jumps, special effects, going up the stairs, avoiding collisions, a splashdown. It's not gonna surprise me anymore, but it should be great. Number 13, Surf Coaster Leviathan at Sea Paradise. Great, a giant Togo, but in Japan, apparently Togo isn't bad, so this could be really fun. This is 144 feet tall, but doesn't have a big drop. 4,200 feet of track makes it a long ride. A couple big helices, goes out over the water to start. I'm really looking forward to this one. Number 12, Regina 2 at Tobu Zoo. This is an old school Intamin Woody, not a prefab, but that rare Intamin wooden coaster, and much more modern than the one I already got to ride, American Eagle at Great America. A lot of people thought this was dead, closing in 2019, but it was refurbished and reopened in 2023. It has GCI trains. It's 121 feet tall and almost 4,400 feet long. So as long as it's smooth after its refurb, it could be a great ride. Number 11, Hollywood Dream the Ride at Universal Studios Japan. The Japanese version of Rip Ride Rocket, this B&M Mini Hyper was built back in 2007, having onboard sound, airtime hills, a helix, almost 4,000 feet of track. This could be awesome, but I haven't heard the best things about it, so it may not be super high for me like a normal B&M Hyper would be. Number 10. Bandit at Yomiuriland. The original hypercoaster. Kinda. It has an elevation change of 256 feet, but is only 167 feet tall, 5,100 feet of track, 68 miles an hour. This is one of those big old Togo hypers, and I've heard mixed things. Even if it's not that forceful, or if it's rough, it's still gonna be interesting, and I kinda have high hopes for this, obviously. It is in my top 10. Number 9. Pyrenees at Parque España Shima Spain Village. This Spanish themed park in Japan is gonna be trippy, and they happen to have one of the best looking large-scale custom B&M inverts out there. I love a big invert, and this one looks masterful. 148 feet tall, 62 miles an hour, 4,000 feet of track, 6 inversions. I would not be surprised if this ended up as a top 3 invert on my list when all is said and done. Number 8. Flying Dinosaur at Universal Studios Japan. This could be the world's best flying coaster, having some insane elements on a large scale, standing 151 feet tall, dropping as much as 125 feet, 3,700 feet of track, 62 miles an hour in the flying position. It's got a pretzel loop, of course, so that's gonna be fun. 5 inversions in total. This seriously might be one of the most intense coasters in the world, and it's gonna be a riot. Number 7. Kawasemi at Tobu Zoo. My first round with an Intamin Megalight wasn't that good. Puritan at Jers Summerland. I thought it was okay, but not that great, but I also rode it in terrible conditions. I also heard Kawasemi wasn't as good, so that holds me back from putting it higher, but the layout is there. 102 feet tall with a 98-foot drop, 2,500 feet of track, all that airtime and lower the ground elements. I'll see if this can surpass my experience on Puritan. Number 6. Thunder Dolphin at Tokyo Dome City. The hypercoaster that goes through buildings. Thunder Dolphin has been on my wish list for a long time. Opening in 2003, 262 feet tall, 218-foot drop, 81 miles an hour, only 3,500 feet of track, which is understandable, but kinda short for a ride like this. This Intamin Hyper could be amazing, or it could be lackluster, but that setting is so cool, and it's been the coaster in Japan I've wanted to ride for the longest time. Number 5. Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Spaland. The world's longest coaster for now, holding that record for 25 years. The world's tallest coaster for a few years. It's crazy that Morgan made a coaster this massive. 307-foot drop, 95 miles an hour, 8,100 feet long. But I've ridden other big Morgans, and they aren't the best rides. I'm afraid this will just be a bigger, longer version of Steel Force, and based on people's reviews, it seems like that's the case. I'm still going to enjoy every second of this long ride, and I think it deserves a top 5 spot. Number 4. Fujiyama at Fuji-Q Highland. The first of 3 coasters at Fuji-Q. This park is definitely quality over quantity, and that's even without Dododampa, another bucket list coaster for me that closed in 2021. Fujiyama is like Bandit, but bigger. This was also the tallest coaster in the world for about 4 years. 259 feet tall, 230-foot drop, 81 miles an hour, and it's one of the longest coasters on the planet, 6,700 feet. I've heard good things about this Togo Hyper, and if it's smooth, I can see myself lapping this at the end of the night. Number 3. Takabisha Fuji-Q Highland. I got a taste of Takabisha in the US, TMNT Shellraiser being a near clone, and I was just so impressed by how diverse the coaster was. 7 inversions, one being right out of the station, a powerful launch, a big drop at 121 degrees. These have the world's steepest drops. I'm assuming this will even be better than Shellraiser, that first inversion being enclosed, maybe running smoother, and this could land in my top 30 at the end. Number 2. Aijunaika Fuji-Q Highland. Like with Takabisha, I got a taste of this at Magic Mountain, X2 being basically the same idea, just not anywhere near the scale of the new SNS models in Asia. At 249 feet tall, it's about the same size as Goliath at Magic Mountain, flipping around that near vertical drop, 3 wild inversions, the seats spinning on their own the whole time, 3,700 feet of track, 78 miles an hour. This looks like one of the craziest rides in the world, and I fully expect this to land somewhere between number 10 and number 20 on my list. But still, could be higher or lower, depending on what seat I get assigned and how rough it is. Number 1. Hakuge at Nagashima Spaland. Japan's one RMC, they got a good one. In 2019, they took the massive Intamin Woody White Cyclone and gave it the Iron Horse treatment. The people who got to ride it have been raving about it, and I think this could be one of my top RMCs, up there in the Wicked Cyclone, Iron Gwazi, Twisted Colossus group. Maybe not as high as Air Force 1 or Steel Vengeance, but it definitely could break into the upper tier. It's 180 feet tall and has 5,000 feet of track, 3 inversions, and I would be surprised if at the end, Hakuge wasn't my number 1 ranked Japanese coaster, and it has a real serious shot at my top 10, even top 5. and really isn't out of the question for my overall number 1. So there you go, my pre-trip top 20 Japanese coasters. Let me know what you think, if you have any opinions on any of these rides, if anything here looks grossly misranked, and if you have any other thoughts, sound off in the comments below. Stay tuned for reviews and rankings from Japan coming throughout the rest of this year. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and if you're new here and love coasters, please give me a sub. I want to thank my Patreons. If you want bonus access, bonus content, and have your name listed at the end of each video, check my links below and join. Also, check out my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.